You're listening to Silver Anniversary Movies. The podcast is celebrating their silver anniversary. So, can you guess the movie that's celebrating their 25 years of release?
I'm going to talk about movies that came out the second week of April. And there's one, two, three, four. I'm going to talk about four movies that came out April the 12th, 1996. First one had no tomato meter rating as a 67% audience score. After placing an ad for employment as a governess, Jane Eyre journeys to Thornfield Hall to inquire about a possible position. She is hired by the housekeeper, Mrs. Fairfax, to care for young Adele, the daughter of the brooding Mr. Rochester, who lives at the estate. After much trepidation, Eyre and Rochester begin a romantic relationship, but dark secrets surrounding Rochester threaten to destroy the couple's love. Is rated TVG. It's a drama directed by Robert Young, produced by Greg Brenman, read by Kay Miller. It is 1 hour and 36 minutes long by A&E Television Networks and London Weekend Television. Some of the cast and crew: Deborah Findlay as Mrs. Reed, Abigail Crutton as Blanche Ingram, Richard Hawley as Richard Mason, Gemma Jones as Mrs. Fairfax, Cyril Hines as Edward Rochester, and Samantha Morton as Jane Eyre. So the name of the movie is Jane Eyre. And this one is streaming on Prime Video, Tubi TV, and Popcorn Flicks. Or you can rent it on Amazon Video. Alright, the next one, 42% on tomato meter, 77% on the audience score. A pharmaceutical firm's fortune rise and fall after executives pressure a scientist to release a hastily tested antidepressant. Rated R, it's a comedy, directed by Kelly Macon, produced by Lorne Michaels, written by Kevin McDowell, Mark McKinney, Scott Thompson, Bruce McCulloch. It is 1 hour and 28 minutes long by Lakeshore Entertainment. Same with the cast and crew: Catherine Greenwood as Jenny Hodeker, Scott Thompson as Baxter, Mrs. Hodeker, Wally Terzinski, Malik, Big Stubby Scientist, the Queen, Raj Flimter. Mark McKinney as Simon, Ron Roritor, Cabby, Gunther, Cop Number 1, Nina Bedford, Melanie, Drill Sergeant, White Trash Woman. Kevin McDowell as Dr. Chris Cooper, Doreen, Chris's dad, and Lacey. Bruce McCulloch as Alice, Cisco, Revo, Worm Pill Scientist, Cop 2, Cancer Boy, and White Trash Man. And Dave Foley as Marv, Psychiatrist, New Guy, Raymond Hortiker. Alright, the name of the movie is Kids in the Hall Brain Candy. I couldn't find it streaming nowhere. Alright, next one, 46% on tomato meter to 63% on the audience score. When 16-year-old Nicole Walker meets 23-year-old David McCall at a Seattle nightclub, she falls in love. David is exciting and charming. Despite the wide age gap, he wins over Nicole's family, except for her workaholic father, Stephen, who's suspicious of David from the start. His concerns are realized when David turns out to be a violent sociopath who sees Nicole as his possession and her family home a fortress to be invaded. It is rated R. It's a mystery and thriller, directed by James Foley, produced by Rick Kidney and Karen Snow, read by Christopher Crowe. 1 hour 36 minutes long by Universal Pictures. Some of the cast and crew: Christopher Gray as Toby, Alyssa Milano as Margot Massey, Amy Brenneman as Laura Walker, William Peterson as Steve Walker, Reese Witherspoon as Nicole Walker, and Mark Wahlberg as David McCall. Alright, the name of the movie is Fear. And it is streaming on HBO Max, HBO Now, DirecTV, Cinemax Amazon channel, and HBO Now Amazon channel. Or you can find it for rent or buy on Redbox, Apple iTunes, Amazon Video, Google Play, YouTube, Fandango Now, Vudu, Microsoft Store, and AMC On Demand. And you can also buy it on DirecTV. Alright, and the last one, 91% on Tomato Meter, 66% on the audience score. Featuring stop motion animation and live action, this inventive adaptation of Roald Dahl's beloved children's tale follows the adventures of James, an orphaned young British boy, forced to live with his cruel aunt. James finds a way out of his bleak existence when he discovers an enormous enchanted peach. After rolling into the sea inside the buoyant fruit, James, accompanied by a crew of friendly talking insects, sets sail for New York City. Is rated PG, The Kids and Family, Animation Fantasy, directed by Henry Selick, produced by Tim Burton, Denise DeNovi, written by Carrie Kirkpatrick, Jonathan Roberts, and Steve Bloom. It is 1 hour and 20 minutes long by Walt Disney Pictures and Skeleton Productions. Some of the cast and crew: Richard Dreyfuss as the voice of Centipede, Simon Callow as the voice of Grasshopper, Pete Postlethwaite as the voice of Old Man, Miriam Margolyes as the voice of the Glowworm and Aunt Sponge, Joanna Lumley as the voice of Aunt Spiker, and Paul Terry as the voice of James. The name of the movie is James and the Giant Peach. It is streaming on Disney Plus, or you can rent or buy it from Apple iTunes, Amazon Video, Google Play, YouTube, Vudu, Microsoft Store, DirecTV, and AMC On Demand. Alright, well that is it. The movies that came out on April 12th, 1996. Have fun watching the movies.
This show is brought to you by Heartland Production Entertainment. If you'd like to help to make the show better, go to patreon.com/heartlandpae.